Minds team to introduce them. So I'd like to introduce someone from the team now who does an enormous amount of good work in terms of community outreach, getting the word out there, and just letting everybody know what we do. So please give a very warm welcome to the stage to the wonderful Rhys Jenkins.
Hello, folks. It is my privilege and pleasure to be here today to introduce our next speaker, who is an autistic photographer. Don't know about you, but photography is very, very cool. Very cool. Just a little bit about me. I'm community coordinator for Autistic Minds. My role involves going into any sector or any organisation that works with autistic people in any way, and delivering talks on how they can improve any provision that they may have that can affect an autistic person's life in any way. That's basically it in a nutshell. I hope you all enjoy the talk, and I hope you're all having a wonderful day. The stage is yours, sir.
So I nearly forgot the book that I wrote. All these people leaving, you don't know what you're missing. You think you've seen a talk, you ain't seen nothing. PowerPoint, I don't even know how to use that. I'm too old. So what we're going to have instead is my absolutely gorgeous pictures just on rotation, because if you're bored at looking at this, probably won't be, but if you're bored at looking at this, just look behind me and you'll actually see something that is pretty. Whenever you're ready, guys. All right, I'll just start talking. Okay. So my name's Joe James. I'm autistic. I'm ADHD, OCD, PDA, PTSD, all the acronyms you bring it, I'll own it. None of that really matters to me. What I like to think is that I'm an alternative neurotype. I have a different brain. I'm evolved to be different. Because without difference, if everyone just thinks the same, then we've just got a bunch of people who probably voted for Boris Johnson. And no one wants that. We need difference. We need different thinking. We need different abilities. So, I was badly treated as a child. So I was bullied, I was ostracised, I was traumatised, and that's just my parents. School was even worse. I didn't have a safe place. It didn't matter where I go. So, I mean, I could be doing this. Who wants me to do that? Is that better? Okay. I'll just do this like that. So I've got to move around. Okay, so yeah, I was bullied, I was traumatised, I was hurt, I was ostracised. I had no friends. I basically thought I was always the problem. So I'd always walk into every situation and say, why me? Why is it always me? Why am I the one that everyone picks on? Why am I the one that people hate? Why can't I be Fonzie? Why can't I be cool? That's how I'm in my head. I'm going to go into a social situation. I'm going to be the cool guy, the guy that everyone likes, the guy with the cool leather jacket. No, I was Krusty the flipping clown. I was just all over the place and I could not calm down. So, I was either quiet in the corner, nobody likes that kid. I was in your face, over the top, no one likes that kid. I didn't know how to be like everyone else. So I worked so hard at trying to be like everyone else that I ended up forgetting who I was. So I grew up not knowing that I was neurodivergent. So I grew up masking being a neurotypical. So I learned neurotypical talk, because I think there's two languages here. I think there's neurodivergent talk and there's neurotypical talk, and I think there's a lot of neurodivergent people that aren't fluent in both, so they get treated badly because they don't speak the same language. I got treated badly, and I speak both. But I'm not it's kind of like if I was French and I came to England and I spoke a bit of broken English. I can get by on neurotypical. I can get understood with neurotypical. But I'm not fluent in neurotypical, because I'm not. But do you know any neurotypicals that are fluent in neurodivergent? None. They don't exist because they don't care enough, because they don't have to care. I did. I had to care. So I grew up and I didn't really know where I belonged. Then I met my wife, and she changed my world. She accepted me for who I was. She accepted me for being different. And I accepted her for being the same. We were there for each other. And then I had 2 amazing children. Both of them completely balmy. Just like Dad. And I went to work, and I went from job to job to job. I never did the job that I should have done. I never reached my full potential because I was never able to get through school properly. Despite having a high IQ, despite being really good at like science and art, I could do it my way. I couldn't do it their way. And if you don't do it their way, you get left behind. So for me, I was never able to get my full potential. So I just went from job to job, just providing for my family. Because for me, as a parent, that's what you do. You are there for your children. My hyper-focus was make money for my kids so they can live a life, and then I'll be there for them and do a better job than my parents. And to be fair, I could have beaten my kids with a stick and I'd have done a better job than my parents. But I didn't, just in case anyone wants to know. It was a twig instead, with leaves. No, I don't know. So, as an adult, my wife, after watching a TV show, turns around and goes, "Those kids are autistic." And I went, "Yeah, it's a program about autistic kids." And she's like, "That's like you." And I went, "What?" She goes, "Yeah, you're just like those kids." I was like, "Oh, crap." Bing. I was like, "Oh, well, maybe that's why I never fit in. Maybe that's why I'm so different. Maybe that's why no one likes me." And all of a sudden, it made sense. I'm different. I'm autistic. And then it's the diagnosis process, it's a disorder, and you have this thing. So I went through all of that, got diagnosed way quicker than most people, by the way. I think I'm in one of those postcode lotteries where I literally won the lottery, because I had like 9 years and I got 6 months. So that's bad, but I think that's a different talk, is how crap are the NHS. But yeah, so that's what happened. I got diagnosed, and then at the beginning, I was actually, oh, cool. So I was going around telling everyone, "Oh, yeah, I have autism. I have Asperger's." Because in brackets it said Asperger's. I don't know what brackets Asperger's means, but I was like, "Oh, so you understand it better because it's a type of autism." And I was like, so I was really naive to all of this. But it never really fit right with me. I was like, "Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I'm just Joe. Just doing my thing." As weird as it is. And I was like, "That's fine." So I told my work, I told my colleagues. They were all fine. A lot of them did that. "Oh, I thought there was something wrong with you." And I go, "Thanks." I guess. You know, in this experience, as an autism advocate, what I noticed is there's so many people that are really, they think they're doing so much good, but they're actually damaging us with words, where they think making out that autism is something that we have, something that's unfortunate, that, you know, we're afflicted with this thing, and they're like, oh, but you do great things, even with the autism. And I'm like, you're right, autism is annoying. Can I just get rid of it? Sorry, Pooh Bear, I had to make a point. I'm going to pay for that later. He will not let me cuddle him now. But I felt like... So I made a mistake at my work. They happen. Who here, put up their hand if they've never made a mistake? Put your hand down, Pooh Bear. Yeah, you're perfect in every way. I can see that from here. I love you, man. I made a mistake. My boss decided to blame autism. Yay! Now you can see something really pretty. It's on a loop. You got that on a loop? It's not working. Yeah. Have I got a manual? Nah. I get paid either way, I don't care. Yeah, you need to put it on slideshow. I'm not techie and I managed to do this, but I love you guys, really. Anyway, so I made a mistake at work and my autism was blamed. Now, I can see why he was doing it. He was trying to protect me. But all that happened was he made me feel like autism was a really bad thing to have. It was the reason I did things wrong. It was the thing that hurt me, that made me a bad employee. So 2018, I genuinely said the words, I want to leave my autism at home when I go to work so I can be better. Because that's how he made me feel. That's not okay. But the thing is, it came from a good place. He wasn't trying to hurt me. But words are so important when it comes to mental health. Because the wrong ones, even if they're meant in good faith, can absolutely damage someone. So in 2018, I had a mental breakdown. And I became severely depressed. Because all this time I had autism, and it was a thing that I could potentially leave at home, apparently, like a bag or something. I hated it. And I can't leave autism at home. It follows me around. Now I'm glad. But, oh my God, I hated it. So, during depression, I decided to go and do some photography. I heard it's good for mental health. I like taking pictures on my phone. Who doesn't? That's what they're for. I'm pretty sure you can talk on them, but bugger that. Talking on a phone? What? Are you 80? No, I'm cool, mate. You know what I'm saying? Every time I call someone, they go, why are you calling me? Well, it's a phone. And they go, that's not what it's for. So apparently they're just miniature cameras. So I went out and I did my miniature camera thing. And I thought, you know what? I actually like this feeling. This is a nice feeling. It's you know, I'm in nature and I'm surrounded by woodlands or, like animals, and anyone that's been out in nature and loves it, I mean, you could get in nature and go, yeah, no. It could be like a townie. But nature for me was calming. So I'd go for walks, and they would actually help with my mental health. So I'd take pictures, so when I got back from my walk, I could think, oh, God, I'm feeling terrible again. And I look at my pictures, and I felt better. So I was like, okay, so I'm going to buy a proper camera. And within a week of taking my first camera out, I had taken a photo that has now been sold all over the world. It's been on front covers of magazines. It's been on ITV, BBC. And it's not, oh, this guy took a picture despite his autism. Do you know how I got so good at photography so quick? I'd love to give you an example. Guys, please, you are killing me. Just put it on like window viewer. I'll tell you what, I'm just going to go. Right, here's my picture. Yes! Even if you have to manually flick through them, please do it, man. So this is one of my pictures. All right? I'm going to hand some of these out to anyone that wants them. I've got a whole bunch of little mini prints if anyone wants them. There you go. It's really difficult. It's actually perfect timing because it's difficult talking about how good I am at photography if you can't see. Then I just sound like something. I was about to say a swear word, and I was like, no, you can't do that, Joe. Yeah, swearing is a bit of a stim for me, so I'm really, really, really trying. It's like going over and do a school talk, and it's like, don't do it, Joe, don't do it. These are 8-year-olds. So I'm just like, yeah, I'll just do this instead. Okay, now you can see my pictures. Okay, so within a week, I had learned how to do this. In a week. Who does that? Thank you! Literally, it's not even oh, good for you, oh, well done. I hate people like that. Again, good faith, but really bugs me. Don't talk to me like a 5-year-old. My IQ is like Einstein. Don't talk to me like I don't know what I'm talking about. It's ridiculous. We are so underestimated as humans simply because of the misinformation, the misunderstanding of what the neurodivergent brain is. It is an alternative neurotype that has evolved to think and see differently. This massively affects our interactions with an evolved human race because most of our evolution is raw. It's in nature where we excel, where we can hear things. We can see in the dark like Riddick. But if you put me in a situation where lights are bright, oh my God, I'm blind. So for me, it's a bit like, in those sort of SAS things where they put the I can see in the dark glasses, and then someone turns a light on them and they're literally disabled. So they go from being superpowered because they can see in the dark. Someone turns a light on and everyone's like, oh, I can't see anything. That's literally me being autistic. I've got a superpower and then the environment changes and I'm disabled with that exact same superpower. It is one extreme to the other. So instead of me thinking about all the things that were wrong with me, all the things I can't do, all the things that I'm bad at, I went, do you know what? I've heard enough of this. There's enough stuff about this. I want to talk about all the things that I can do because I'm autistic, all the things I can do because I'm ADHD. This is what I can do. I took a camera, I hyper-focused, I never took one lesson. No one ever taught me this. I taught myself this by simply looking at other people's pictures. And I don't mean I went and copied them. I mean, in my brain, I went, I know now how to take a beautiful picture. So all these pictures are for me. This is what I think is a beautiful picture. Others think something different. But this is what I think is a beautiful picture, because when I would see pictures of nature, that to me made me so happy. I was like, imagine I could do that. And then I did. Iceland, Durdledor. Now I've been all over the world. I sell my photography internationally. People from all over the world have my pictures on the wall. When I was a kid, I made some pictures. Kids ripped them up. I've gone from that, from no support, to having people telling me how beautiful my photography is, how wonderful my talent is. And suddenly I went from saying, I hate having autism, to I love being autistic. That's why I am the autistic photographer, not a photographer with autism.
Well done, son.
Thank you. And I take him everywhere. Because I'm not afraid to be me. The more I felt about being neurodivergent, the more positive I was, the less I was afraid to be that person. So yeah, I can speak neurotypical. But I love speaking neurodivergent. And I love the fact that I can have something like this and stim with this and have this. And trust me, I was in New Zealand and I'm on a bridge taking beautiful pictures of my teddy bear. Now, I don't know if I look like I could literally punch someone in the face very easily. I can't. I'm not like that. I just look like that. It's like it's a facade. It's like, keep away from me. But I'm very friendly. But I don't know. But no one has ever come up to me and gone, oh, there's a bloke with a teddy bear. Because then they'd find this teddy bear in a place where they didn't want to find it. And Pooh Bear would literally be. Anyway. Do you know, even I think that's funny. It's like dad jokes, isn't it? It's crazy. So the reason I'm here, the reason I went on Facebook. I've got 82,500 followers on Facebook. And I don't know what I'm doing, by the way. I never used social media before in my life before I started putting pictures up. It's because I just want people to feel better about themselves. I want autistic people to reach their potential. I want them to realize that being autistic doesn't mean you can't do things. It just means that you may need support, love, understanding, acceptance. I go to Sainsbury's and I'm like this. My wife, she is also autistic. She will never do that because she's too scared for people to know that she's autistic. And it doesn't matter what I say or what I do. And it kind of hurts because it's like if anyone in the world, I want to feel good about themselves. It's my own wife, my best friend in the world. But she'll get there. She's newly diagnosed. She's been masking all her life. And it's for her I helped make this book. Because this is 85 different autistic people who put their experiences, their voices, their lives into one single book. 85 different autistic people. And the one thing this book will always show is that we always get treated the same, but that doesn't mean that we are the same. And that's what people need to understand, is that people need to treat us as individuals. So rather than saying, oh, this is a person with autism, that book says let's do this with them, you say, actually, this is a neurodivergent human who may struggle in certain areas and excel in others. So how about we just do that? David, how do you struggle? David says, I struggle with light, I struggle with sound, I struggle with touch, I struggle with too many people. This is ran off the stereotype, but I'm just talking about me. I struggle in this way. David, how do you excel? Well, I can draw anything as long as I've seen it. David does that. And he creates the most amazing pictures you've ever seen of something he saw 5 years ago. How is that not amazing? But no one seems to care about that. They just focus on what he can't do. It needs to be focused on both. We need to look at the negatives and the positives and then put them together and then get help to achieve the absolute dreams. Because when I go out and do photography, the noise in my head, the overwhelming nattering that's caused by a neurodivergent brain, the ADHD, go and do this, and I can't stop moving, the autism, and it's, oh no, I need to be like, really, I have to do it in this way. And it's so noisy in my head. And by the way, I really hate separating autism and ADHD, but it's the only way people can understand. Because again, it's just, for me, I see it as like one brain. We just struggle and excel in different ways. But 100%, it's like a different language. And I think that more people, more neurotypical people need to start trying to understand our language. And then that way we can sort of bridge that gap. Because, like I said, what I want is for people like me to, instead of going through all the trauma and then having to figure out that they're really good at something, you know, in their late 30s, when I've already gone through all that, how about we get a young person and don't let them go through the trauma? I know that sounds crazy, right? A non-traumatized child, lunacy. Let's try and get through that and get a young person to achieve this, or whatever their potential may be, whether it's in math, science, creativity, whatever it is. And even if they're not the most amazing person at it, do you know what the most important thing for a neurodivergent person to be is? Can anyone just answer me? Happy. God, I wish I was happy. Do you know when I'm happy? When I'm taking photographs. Or when I see my daughter excel at university. Not because I want her to, because she wants to. When my son, my neurodivergent son, who really struggled with his ADHD during COVID, home learnt, because his university was closed, he home learnt, and he did an economics degree, which basically bored the crap out of him, right? Because he likes video games, and that's his special interest. But he did the economics degree, he got a 2-1, and now he's got a job in this massive company. I'm so proud of him. Because I supported him. Because I didn't push him. Because I didn't tell him he couldn't do something, and I didn't make him feel like he should do something. I was just there for my children. And that makes me happy. So, 100% buy my book. I say my book is 85 people here in this book. If you want to see my photographs, you can follow me on Facebook. Joe James, the Autistic Photographer. Amazing, right? I'm such an original. And if you want any of my pictures, come and see me, and I'm happy to give you a picture if you want. Because I want to inspire young people to achieve their dreams and to make themselves happy. And if I can do that through photography and speaking, then man, I'm going to do this till I pass out. Thank you very much for coming and hearing my talk. I saw that in real life. And I stole one of them. Just don't tell anyone.